The Supreme Court of India was faced with a very important but often ignored subject this week.
A 5-judge bench was set up to decide the constitutional validity of Aadhaar as mandatory to file income tax returns. The biggest hurdle facing the bench was whether the centre's decision violated an individual's right to privacy and if the data collected via the Aadhaar card could be protected. To clear things up, the Apex Court has now referred the question of whether the right to privacy is a fundamental right to a 9-judge bench.
Yes, the Supreme Court will now decide if the right to privacy is a fundamental right or not, after the Aadhaar scheme was challenged for infringing the citizen's right to privacy. As things stand, Aadhaar enrollment is compulsory for opening a bank account, to avail LPG subsidies, for filing your tax returns, and soon for swiping right on Tinder. So many fake profiles out there, seriously. I hate that app, stupid app. But seriously guys, Aadhaar is one of the most sophisticated biometric identification systems in the world, as it has fingerprint and iris scans of 1.3 billion people. Even Paul Romer, World Bank's chief economist, praised the Aadhaar system when he said, "The system in India is the most sophisticated system that I've ever seen. It's the basis for all kinds of connections that involve things like financial transactions. It could be the best in the world and should be widely adopted." However, some people have always had their reservations with the system.
Thanks to gangster movies, cop shows and thrillers, spy thrillers, people have come to think of fingerprints and other biometrics means of identifying evildoers as being completely foolproof. Right. In reality, they are not, never have been. Few engineers who design such screening tools have ever claimed to be so.
What? So politicians and public analysts make decisions on Hollywood movies? I mean, if you think about it, it actually makes sense. PM Modi's foreign policy is based on around the world in 80 days. Trump's immigration policy was inspired by the Great Wall. And Theresa May decided to leave EU after watching Interstellar. I mean, on a serious note, most of Aadhaar critics are worried primarily that it will infringe on people's privacy and in some cases, really worried.
We are saying that this entire system compromises the national security when you have a centralized data.
If a country does not have a privacy law and a privacy commission above all to oversee whatever data is collected, it is certainly going to create massive amount of troubles, and that is the reason this case is in point, because there is no privacy law that can protect the data.
When you are linking payment schemes with Aadhaar, that is the crucial question.
Yes.
When bank accounts, at least 4.5 crores or nearly 5 crore bank accounts have been linked to Aadhaar, have been opened through Aadhaar. So what happens if somebody steals your biometric and you suddenly find that your account is cleaned out?
You will end up turning this into a police state where you will have no rights. Today they have started by saying you don't have absolute rights. Tomorrow they will say you don't have any rights because the state is supreme and I can do anything that I want to do with you because I am the government. That is the understanding of the law, etc. Believe me, we are going to become another Pakistan.
It's so unhealthy to talk about all of us as being primarily viewed as lawbreakers, and we have to keep coming and repeatedly prove to them that we are not lawbreakers. Is the converse of what this is trying to do, which is completely centralize everything. And from there, they will look through that lens of technology and decide whether we are okay, we are citizens, we are not.
Is it safe to come out? Is it safe? You never know what can happen these days. So what is Aadhaar? Some kind of matrix where they harvest our organs and brains. So how much of this fear is legitimate and how much of this is made up? Let's deconstruct internet privacy. Some critics of Aadhaar allege that the true intention of the government is to sell the biometric data it acquired to private companies.
What kind of law or what system can protect you when the government is handing over the entire data to private foreign companies?
But think about it. Does the government really need this? I mean, we ourselves willingly give data to internet companies like Google, Facebook and others. Tech companies already know where you are at any given time, how you get to any given location, the route you take, what you eat, and even your kinkiest sexual fetishes. I mean, just look around yourselves. People reveal every single minute details about themselves on the internet. People click pictures of what they eat and post it on Instagram. I mean, tech companies don't need Aadhaar data to track us. We ourselves check in pretty much every location we go to. Think about the details you give out on the social media. Your name, the school you studied, where you live, the place you work, your interests, passions, pleasures, desires, and often even your religious and political beliefs. In fact, we put so much out on social media about ourselves that the first question in a job interview these days is not, why do you think you'll do well in this position, but rather, I know what you did last summer. By the way, if that movie was remade in 2017, it'll be titled, Everybody Knows What Everybody Else Did Last Summer, because it's all over flippant Facebook. We also accept things mindlessly when apps ask us if they could use our profile information. After you click login with Facebook, all apps ask you permission to access your data. The message goes something like this. We will automatically share all your personal information with identity thieves, sex offenders, and your psycho exes. We will automatically display all your passwords, banking, and medical records to the entire world. You know, on one hand, I don't want them to have access to all that. But on the other hand, I really want to crush colorful-looking candies. I mean, tough choice, but accept. I love Candy Crush. Isn't that what usually happens? And we're so addicted to this behavior as well. We keep checking and posting instinctively throughout the day, for no reason at all. I mean, checking social media is a bit like checking your underwear after a fart. Most likely there's nothing new, but if there is, it's probably shit. Giving up all this data to internet companies willingly and then worrying that Aadhaar data might be accessed by corporations is a bit like blogging about health while sitting in front of the computer all day eating junk. I mean, look, I'm not trying to scare you. In fact, even people who think they seem to care about privacy are oblivious to how much data they put out on the internet about themselves. That's exactly what I found out when I met some people in Delhi. So is privacy important to you?
Obviously, yeah.
Privacy is very important to you.
Very, very important. Very important.
I want some part of mine to be private.
I like to keep things private.
What do you think about people posting stupid stuff online? Stuff about what they had for food, where they're checking in. Are you one of these people?
No, I'm not, but I think it's their life. If they are posting something like that, they might. I can't say that half of them really do think it through what they're doing online, but if they are doing it, so that's their life.
People are posting all their information about their private lives on the internet, basically Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat. So that creates a threat to them as well as everybody in their age group, I think.
If I go into, if I think about it, like someone is and someone will be able to track me, like my whereabouts and everything. So yes, it kind of scares me.
People are posting rubbish on their Facebook profile. They are posting about what happened on the last night, and they are posting about what they are doing right now, even if they are in bed.
Is your favorite footballer Wayne Rooney?
Not favorite, but yeah, one of my favorites, yeah, definitely.
Okay, this guy looks like he's into photography. That'll definitely surprise him.
How is your photography going on?
It's going good. It's going good. How do you know about that? How do you know about that?
He seems to be into mountaineering. Looks like there's a lot of interest in Everest.
Are you a mountaineer?
Yes. How do you know that? Privacy.
I think Facebook suggested him to move to New Zealand as a suggested country of migration. Should ask him about that.
Is New Zealand your favorite country?
Yeah, of course, of course.
Are you shocked that I know these kind of stuff about you?
Yeah. Yeah.
I am Apoor Sharma. I am living in Sector 75.
So here's a guy who tells you your address on live TV but has concerns about privacy.
No, I don't. Not really.
If you're one of those people who value privacy so much, then I hate to tell you this, but the best method of keeping your privacy online is to not be online. But none of us want to do that, right? The reason none of us want to do that is because we ourselves find value in sharing data. In this age, the more content we share, the more connections and opportunities open up. But despite all this, people seem way more paranoid about government getting hold of their data than private companies.
On the internet, a lot of people still don't get just how vulnerable they are on the internet. The government thanks you. After all, when you're surfing around and clicking on things, you probably aren't paying attention to whether the site is really all that secure or not. Making a call. Whether using a landline, cell phone, or through a service like Skype, Big Brother can track and listen in. That's smartphone. However, if you're worried about the government watching you and knowing your whereabouts, then your smartphone is the real problem. Social media. Oh wait, what's this? You just got a like. Disturbingly, it's probably from the government. They really like us all using social media because it provides them with pictures they can collect for their facial recognition database and messages they can scan for keywords to let them know if you are a security threat.
First of all, if you think somebody is watching you when you're asleep, watching you when you're awake, and break into your house whenever they want to leave small packages for you, you're not thinking of Big Brother, you're thinking of Santa Claus. But the debate revolves around privacy versus security. How much privacy are we willing to give up in order to be safe? It does seem like fighting terrorism is an excuse that security services often use to acquire more and more surveillance powers. Imagine if the government suddenly demanded everybody's colonoscopy, claiming it helped them to stop terrorism. I mean, after all, terrorists do hide in small caves, right? We'd all be outraged. But here's the crucial detail. It's not possible for you to have absolute privacy. The government and security forces should be able to access some of your data under circumstances in order to keep you safe. If you're one of those people who claim that under no circumstances can the government know my search history or email, then first of all, clearly you've watched a lot of Two Girls, One Cup. And two, it's not realistic in an age where terrorists mostly recruit people online using propaganda. But let me put your fears to rest. If somebody really tried watching you every minute of every day, they would commit suicide out of boredom. Your life isn't that interesting. I mean, do you really think anybody has the time or patience to sit and listen to your calls? Admit it, even you can barely listen to your girlfriend's rants without drowsing off to sleep. Finally, just to prove that NSA or somebody isn't really reading our emails, I'm going to be sending an email with all the keywords including bomb, terrorism, Osama bin Laden, chemical weapons, Syria, ISIS, and there you go, send. They don't have time to read all our emails. It's not like they're going to read my email and send a drone to take me out or anything. Oh. Guys, see you next week, or probably not.